Nytimes, caviar and truffles are all well and good, but nothing says I am pampering my guests quite like a tray of hot, crisp gougeres straight from the oven. It is not because these French cheese puffs are expensive to make. They are not a humble mix of grated cheese, butter and flour, they are among the thriftiest tidbits on the hors d'oeuvre circuit. Nor are they difficult, though if you do not have an electric mixer, some muscle will be required to beat the eggs into the stiff batter. But there is a certain amount of planning needed both in terms of timing and oven space to serve them while they are still piping hot, or at least still very warm. That is when their buttery, cheesy charm is at its most pronounced. Putting this kind of planning into action amid the swirling chaotic bustle of the average holiday cocktail party, at least, my average holiday cocktail party, is what I mean by pampering, albeit in an understated way. The upside of serving gougeres at a party is that you can make them ahead and freeze them before baking. Then, as your guests are unwrapping themselves from scarves and hats and winter coats, simply pop them, frozen, into the oven. By the time the drinks are poured, you'll be able to pass around a steaming tray for immediate nibbling. Plain gougeres are wonderful, but the cheese puffs also take well to variations. You can change up the cheeses, as long as you always sprinkle some extra on top to bake up into a salty brown crust. Chilies, cracked pepper or spices at verve. Whole wheat or rye flour reduces the puffiness slightly, but adds a lovely earthy, nutty flavor. Or, you can add intensely flavored, minced bits like herbs, garlic, capers and olives. Here, I use a combination of crisp pancetta and sage, but basil and olives would be lovely if you are going for something vaguely Provençal. And so on. If you can work fast or find a helper, you can fill your gougeres with all kinds of tasty mixes. Slice them open while they are still hot enough to burn your fingers and spoon or pipe in the likes of smoked fish mousse, pimento cheese, dollops of chicken, or lobster salad. Or try filling them with a spoonful of crème fraîche topped by an even larger one of caviar, and pamper your guests to the extreme. Gougeres with pancetta and sage. Yield, about 51/2 dozen. Total time, 1 hour. Ingredients: 170 grams pancetta, cut into cubes, or bacon. A dozen whole sage leaves. 57 grams unsalted butter, 1/2 teaspoon fine sea salt or kosher salt. 1/4 teaspoon cayenne, 0.125 grams bread flour or all-purpose flour, see note. 4 eggs, at room temperature. 142 grams shredded Gruyere, or another firm cheese like Manchego or aged cheddar. 50 grams grated Parmesan cheese. Method. 1. Put pancetta in a large skillet and place over medium heat. Cook slowly, stirring, until fat is rendered and meat is well browned and crispy all over, 12 to 17 minutes. Use a slotted spoon to transfer to a paper towel-lined plate. 2. Sprinkle sage into the hot fat in the skillet and cook until crisp, about 1 minute. Transfer to plate with pancetta. When cool, finely chop pancetta and sage together.